Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my Daily News X. Well, I'm your host, Kramer, and today we're diving into some major trade news. How and why Donald Trump has announced the termination of trade negotiations with our neighbor, Canada. So, what's behind it? How Canada is responding to this, and the ripple effects for businesses and American consumers. So let's get into this and jump into this so we can understand better the situation and what's going on with these two countries. Because right now, as we know, they're going at each other, on the media. So what happened? Well, Mr. President Trump has officially declared that all trade negotiations with Canada are terminated as of today. He made this announcement on social media, citing a TV advertisement by the Canadian province of Ontario that quoted former President Ronald Reagan speaking about tariffs. As you see, Mr. Trump didn't take very well, the talk, and actually he called the ad fraudulent and accused Canada of trying to interfere with U.S. legal proceedings. I will be mad too. Specifically, he wrote, based on their egregious behavior, all trade negotiations with Canada are hereby terminated. We're done with you, Canada. So, why this decision was made? Well, there's a few reasons why this is happening, and I'm going to give you three explanations of why this is happening. But first, the immediate trigger of this decision. The Canadian-funded advertisement, the ad featuring Reagan's 1987 radio address, in which he warned that tariffs can shrink and collapse markets. So the ad appeared in U.S. media and was designed to critique U.S. tariffs, and Trump says Canada misrepresented the quotations, called the ad fake. All right, this is what's happening. Number two problem or issue, existing tensions between both countries already. The U.S. has imposed tariffs on Canadian steel, aluminum, and automotive exports. Canada has responded with its own measures. So this announcement comes amid a broader trade dispute already coming in. Don't forget the frustration with negotiation progress, okay? Because from the U.S. side, officials suggest Canada has been difficult to negotiate with and lacking flexibility in certain sectors. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to agree with that. Canadian government has been a little bit reluctant, when it comes to getting to a decision with the U.S., when it comes to exports and imports, between both countries. They've been very hard and difficult to deal. Now, how Canada is reacting to this? Because I actually want you to see on the other side what's happening. Well, Canada, throughout his Prime Minister, Mr. Mark Carney, is taking a measured approach. Carney has said that while Canada remains open to negotiations, it would not allow, I repeat, it would not allow unfair access for U.S. goods if market terms are in balance. All right? He also noted that public opinion in Canada has become more negative toward the U.S., considering these trade tensions between the two countries. In short, Canada is signaling readiness to defend its markets and workers, as it should, I understand, while it's still keeping a door open to future dialogue. We're about to see on that. All right, so also I want to talk about the consequences of this decision and what type of businesses and which businesses are going to be affected by this, major decision. So this decision could have broad implications. Some of the affected areas include, number one, is steel, aluminum, and automotive sectors. These sectors have already been under strain from tariffs and retaliatory duties. The breakdown in talks increases uncertainty. Okay, another sector is manufacturers and supply chains. Because the U.S. and Canada have deeply integrated supply chains, disruptions in trade negotiations can ripple into manufacturing, part sourcing, and labor. Let's not forget about agriculture and food. Although not mentioning as an immediate trigger, agricultural exports, like for example, dairy, eggs, cheese, and so on, they have historically been areas of dispute between the two countries for many years. Now, I want to jump into technology and digital services. Early this year, trade talks were already suspended over Canada's plan to impose a digital service tax on tech firms. So the tech firms doing business across the border may face a tougher climate on this. Now, I want to talk about also on our side, because I believe that we also are going to be affected by these major decisions. So what does it mean for Americans and how we can protect ourselves? For U.S. consumers, workers, and businesses, here are a few takeaways and steps to consider. Number one, consumers. Tariff escalation or trade disruption often means higher prices for imported goods or goods with international supply chains. So let's think about cars, electronics, and certain foods. Being aware of potential price increases is very wise right now. All right, so we have another sector, workers and businesses in affected areas. So if you work in manufacture, automotive parts, steel, aluminum, or industries tied to Canada and US, supply chains start evaluating your exposure. Yes, I'm telling you right now. Are your suppliers or customers in Canada? Or do you rely on cross-border trade? Well, you need to start considering right now contingency plans, just to let you know. Diversification of sourcings. So businesses might look to diversify suppliers outside the US and Canada, channels or hedge exposure. In other words, you need to start looking at other countries, what they can offer you and how you can start trading with different countries and not just Canada. One important thing you can start doing also, stay informed. This kind of trade decisions evolve very quickly. Americans doing business internationally should monitor government announcements, trade policy updates, and their potential impact. So I will start looking at their web pages, the government web pages, the agriculture department, they start posting things, FDA also does a couple of things. When it comes to manufacturer and other companies, you can actually look at their homepage to see what they're doing and how they monitor these decisions. Advocacy and potential engagement. If trade policy is affecting your sector, engage with trade associations and local representatives. Policy shifts often come throughout regulation and negotiation. Impact can be mitigated throughout collective voices. All right, guys. So there you have it. This is what's going on as of this morning with Mr. President Donald Trump and Canada. After that ad that came in, and he talked about it to the media. Saying that the ad was fake. You get the inside out. So my final thoughts on this, guys. Well, I think it's a bold move for Mr. President Donald Trump, to hold trade negotiations with Canada. I will be mad too, if I see this type of ad. Triggered by what he views as a misrepresentation and broader trade frustration, because Canada has been very, very difficult to deal with. I think it's one of the most difficult countries that we've been dealing in the last couple of months, and China as well. So it's not only Canada. I don't want to leave other countries left out. So Canada is just cautious but firm, ready to protect its workers and markets. The fallout touches key industries like global supply chains and everyday consumers. And for Americans, this is a reminder that trade policy isn't just over there. It can affect your paycheck, your commute, and your shopping cart. All right, guys, this is it. Thanks for listening to my Daily News X. If you enjoyed this breakdown, drop a comment or reach out to me, down below. You can leave your comment and let me know what we would like me to talk in the next topic or segment. On to then next time. Stay curious, stay engaged, and take care. Have yourself a great day.